Days later, and we still have not received hearing number 3 from the Levy County Courthouse. We find it extremely odd that when we requested videos of our hearings in the past, hearing number 1, hearing number 2, we had them immediately. Now, upon requesting hearing number 3, after we released hearing number 1 and hearing number 2 on YouTube, all of a sudden we have not received this. Now, the courts do have upwards to, I believe it's 10 days to release that public information. And it is public information. It cannot be withheld. I can request it, you can request it, and yet to this date, we have received no communication whatsoever. Nothing such as, what we need a little extra time, nothing along the lines of, no, you can't have it, yes, you can have it. We've received nothing but crickets. That leads us to believe that this may be, and again, it's an opinion and it's a biased opinion on my behalf, that this could possibly be a power play by Judge Craig DeThomasis, saying, yeah, you may be requesting it, but I'm going to make you wait the entire time for it. Now, I don't believe that he could seal any of this information. Again, public information. There is nothing that involves a minor. There is nothing that is too sensitive that it would need to be sealed by any stretch of the imagination either. I can't say this enough. Public information. Even as we have posted videos from the wildlife officer, that was public information. Now, you understand that LIEnette is trying to say that we posted videos of her daughter. No, that's public information. Emphasis on the public. Means you have access, I have access. Anything we have shown has been public information. Anything we've shown has been filmed legally. Anything we've shown has been done the appropriate, the right way, for accountability, for the aspect of protection, for education, and the aspect of entertainment. I mean, you should have heard the deposition today. Most entertaining 7 hours I've ever sat through. I realize most people have questions as we share the aspects of our life. And remember, this is a story about our lives. It is a news story, and we do share openly most things, but you have to keep in mind we share when it's the appropriate timing. When we were in court with hearing number 1, we didn't share that immediately afterwards. Hearing number 2, we didn't share it immediately afterwards. And so that will be the same with the depositions of LIEnette and John Crook. That will not be shared until an appropriate date. You've got questions. You're gonna have to hold on to them. We will answer them again, but it's gotta be the right timing and it's gotta be the right date. And that's gonna be a couple weeks away here. After an all-day deposition with LIEnette, which is carrying on to the following day, it wasn't even finalized. And that's not anybody's fault but her own fault. And I'm sure you can figure out why. The constant run-on sentences that never end and never have a point. But we went to town hall. We were ready for the town hall meeting. There was a meeting, remember that is now on the 3rd Tuesday of every month to accommodate the schedule of the actual new lawyer. And as we got to town hall, we saw something we didn't expect at all. With the resignation of Madam Mayor at Town Hall in Otter Creek, the world wants to know who's going to be the next mayor, what's going to happen next. And we're here at Town Hall early for the meeting. The monthly Town Hall meeting scheduled tonight at 7 will be canceled due to one of the council members not being able to attend. Our next meeting will be February 20th, 2024. You know what that means. No Town Hall meeting tonight. So what does that mean? Well, we honestly have no clue. Myself, George, Deanna all came to town hall early to get our seat, and the doors were locked. The notice was put on the door. We haven't heard from anybody, and maybe you're thinking what I'm thinking. Don the Con called off because now everything is coming out about Lady Pirate and about the real estate business all being ran out of town hall office. That's my first assumption. That's probably what's actually happening. Do you think Rosemary and Don are now in hiding because all this information from all the way back to 2007 is being leaked out? There's a pretty good possibility. If I was Don the Con, I wouldn't show my face in town hall either. This is just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And it seems that corruption was the way of Otter Creek all the way back then until Madam Mayor shows up. And unfortunately, we've lost Madam Mayor. Now, we're never going to forget Madam Mayor, nor will we ever forget the Hudsons. That's one of the things we want back. We want the Hudson mentality back. We need the Darlings. We need the Joyces. We need all of their sisters. We need the Hudson family mentality that actually loves people and takes care of people. Now, you also understand that there are people who do the wrong things and they need to be held accountable. That is the Rosemary, the Don the Cons, the Russell Meeks. Here's what I've figured out so far going through these emails. As we've seen all the way up to 2010, there was a huge power struggle between Russell Meeks and the Meeks family, including his daughter Charlene, and then the Severino family, including Don and Rosemary and even Darren. And what was happening was this internal battle back and forth. Now, Rosemary is in town hall office. Russell wants control. The people of Otter Creek vote him out. Charlene is now... You want to know who asked the Levy County Sheriff to come in and confiscate and raid Town Hall? My guess, I do not know 100% for sure. I haven't seen it yet. My guess is Charlene. Because Rosemary's throwing Charlene under the bus with the lawyer saying her dog mauled my dog. It's the Meeks versus the Severinos. And then Russell files for his petition to disband and unincorporate the town of Otter Creek. Because if he can't be mayor, nobody can be mayor. I wonder if he was planning this very night that he once again was going to be mayor of Otter Creek. And I wonder if he was anticipating the onslaught of lawsuits that will follow if he ever does become Otter Creek mayor yet again. We loved that Madam Mayor actually was all about transparency. And in the old days, back in, what are we at? We're at 2011 now, George? I skipped around. The lawyer is talking about the lack of transparency in not Otter Creek, Levy County. Look at this. I went to the directory for Levy County, but it was blank. See below, directory. How's that for transparency? At least there was a directory online. Otter Creek had nothing. It wasn't until Madam Mayor and Belinda got in that we went, we're going to build a website, we're going to have online payments, and things are still being worked on by all means. But years, we're talking years, 13 years later, okay? Look at this. I see speeding, subject line, speeding in OC. Okay. Hello, Connie. I would address a letter to Board of County Commissioners. The chairman is Danny Stevens. P.O. Box I requested the approval of rumble strips for 2 spots on 3rd Street. One by the Baptist Church, one near Highway 19. Recently had several complaints from residents on North Otter Creek Avenue. What? Who lives on North Otter Creek Avenue? And who's complaining about speeding? This is 13 years later. Oh, that's right. LIEnette actually said that I go 70 miles per hour down the road from my drive past her house. Now, anybody who knows that I have trucks knows that they're diesel. You hear the rumble. And you also know diesel vehicles are built for power, not for speed. It is not physically possible for my vehicle from point A to wherever their 1.66 acres is, whether I'm coming from the north side or the south side, to even get close to 70 miles per hour. Nowhere near close to 70, nor 65, nor 60. It's not physically possible. It can't happen. But she didn't mind posting that all over Facebook, and that her child is a runner, because somehow, some way, everybody else is responsible for her problems except for her. Good thing they got that incredible fence now. That's a safety measure for sure. All right, let's see. So rumble strips on 3rd Street, rumble strips down on North Otter Creek Avenue. I think one would be good there also. I've not had a response to my letter yet. Okay, from Rose. Well, here's the good thing. This is not about a fishing charter, and this is not about real estate. This is about the roads. She's asking the county to put in rumble strips. Now, that's better than speed bumps, right? I've never understood why you're going to put a road where people are supposed to go a certain speed, and then you're going to put a bump in it and destroy people's vehicles. I'm pretty sure, wouldn't that be the same as like a pothole? Like if the county is responsible for damage of your vehicle, they have to pay for it. I don't think it's okay to be putting speed bumps in places where 99.999% of the people who are driving actually are driving correctly. You don't put in something for everybody when it's just a few people who are the people who are doing it wrong. What you do is you catch those few people, and then, come on, it's Otter Creek. You know how Otter Creek could have raised money back here in 2011? They could have hired a police officer. They could have sat there and waited for speeding. They could have done photo enforcement. I know that's what our hometown is doing up north. They could have charged for parking. They would actually have money right now and have more than one officer. And probably because of having more than one officer, not so many meth labs in the area. Remember how Russell demands a lawyer to be at every town hall meeting? Well, let's take a look here. This is from Rose. Hello, Rose. I will not be able to attend Monday's meeting. Now, let's keep in mind, Monday used to be the day of town hall meetings back in 2011, and before that as well. Monday, not Tuesday. But not the whole town council was against moving the date. No, it wasn't even the date. It wasn't even the day. It was the time. So if the people aren't coming, I wonder if they actually moved from Monday to Tuesday to see if more people would attend. Because Mondays are kind of like, it's Monday. But Tuesday, we're good there. 6, 7. Does it really matter? If they're not coming at 7, try at 6. If they're not coming at 6, try at 8. They're going to go, it's too late at 8. Okay, well, do what works and see and play around with it. And they obviously have changed it. But the lawyer says, I'm not going to be able to attend Monday's meeting. I asked Lane Prebor, the town attorney for Worthington Springs, to appear on my behalf. Okay? And Rose says this, Brent, Mayor Martin said to let you know it's not necessary to send a replacement. We have no issues on the agenda that require an attorney's presence at the Monday meeting. Rose. And this is the reality for most small towns. Most things that they talk about, and in our town, what is it? Water in Otter Creek. Water. The water, it's real good. It's real. We never get any information from Russell, right? In Otter Creek. You don't need a lawyer. You know when towns like Otter Creek need a lawyer? When they start targeting people and stealing from them, especially if they're outsiders from the north. Here's a whole nother email thread on disinfection legal ad. Ad for excessive disinfection byproducts. So basically, Rose she legally has to tell the residents, and she has to put in the legal paper or legal communication when the water is out of specs. And she does, but she screws it up. Can you please take out over, please? And then they say, yep, please omit over, please. When I printed this mailing out for the italicized note, it was on the back of the page. Please leave that in. I'll be sending a copy to the DEP. That is Department of Environmental Protection. Most states call that the EPA. I don't know why in Florida it's DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection. I feel like it's like United Kingdom where everything is the Ministry of. In Florida, it's the Department of. It's the Department of Environmental Protection. It's the Department of Children's Services, where everybody else calls it CPS and EPA. But it is what it is in Florida. For proof of publication. Now, they must legally provide proof of publication. It appears as the council in 2011 didn't like changing the dates for the meetings either. Look at this. It says, yes, she's talking to the lawyer. Yes, we are having a meeting on President's Day. I suggest changing it to Tuesday. Whoa, hold a second. Rosemary, have you ever suggested changing these days to Donald? Your Donald the Conald? Don the Con? I mean, he is completely and totally against any type of change like that whatsoever. How dare you actually suggest changing a meeting date based on a holiday? Let's see what you have to say. I suggest changing it to Tuesday. Council said no. Look at that. It's even in quotations. We have a meeting every President's Day. Rosemary, town clerk. You know who was on the town council at this time, George, right?
Donald was.
Donald the Donald. If you needed confirmation that Don was one of the council members refusing to change the date from President's Day, there it is. Councilman Don Severino. With all the talk of a community center coming to Otter Creek, and that was on the agenda for tonight, which did not happen. For all we know, Don the Con refused to show up because of all the corruption being unveiled. And yet he probably would still sit across the table from us and say, she is not corrupt.
He'd bet you another $50.
Hey, I'll take his $100 for the month. All right, look at this. Hello, Brent. Remember, Brent is the lawyer. We're having exercise classes for the public. Now, I am all for exercise classes for those who want to participate, and for the public, for those who want to participate. Now, some people in Otter Creek, the only thing they exercise is their mouth online, Facebook. Other people, they actually are active and do things. So let's take a look here. We're having exercise classes for the public at Town Hall 3 mornings a week. Mayor Martin suggested that we have each participant sign a release. Could you please draw up a brief release of liability for the town? Thank you so much. Rosemary, Severino. All right, let's talk about this aspect of liability. Do you understand Rose is using Town Hall to not only run one business, the real estate business, 2 businesses, that is Lay Pirate, charter fishing. Now, you want to talk about liability? The town of Otter Creek was now liable for anything that she booked out of the town hall. Now, you were going, well, what if she was off the clock? It doesn't matter. She did it under town resources in town hall. Town hall and the residents of the town are liable. Let's say somebody falls over and drowns and they get sued. Guess what? The town of Otter Creek is now liable because Rosemary did all of these things with the town hall email and the town hall office and the town hall building on town hall resources and time. And they're liable for anything that happens, anything at all. And now Rosemary and the mayor are thinking about liability. Okay, I get it. Exercise classes, somebody pulls a hammy. All right? I get it. All right? You're concerned. You're going to be liable. The real liability concern is Rosemary running business out of the actual town hall. It's not the person that comes to exercise and says, oh, I just pulled a hammy. Although there are liability issues. I get that. All right? Typically, you would not need a liability form in this type of situation because you participating and you actually entering the building, you assume all liability upon yourself. For example, when I have guests out to the schoolhouse, if I'm running an actual event, they assume liability by coming to my actual event. Does that make sense to everybody? In other words, if an accident happens, you assume liability because you chose to actually arrive and to be there. Now, if they come and they exercise, they pull a hammy, they assumed their own liability by coming and being there. Completely different when she's running a business. The ship goes down, 3 people drown on the charter. Now the whole town is sued. Completely different aspect of liability. I can't stress this enough. The greatest liability that the town hall building had was Rosemary running businesses out of it. So much random stuff in here. Like, look at this. This one's about an Apache wedding on April 28th. Hey, Rhonda, I found the Apache piece at documentsanddesigns.com. Do a Google search for wedding vows. Rosemary, town clerk, town of Otter Creek. Not appropriate. Not Otter Creek business at all. If we keep going on here, drinking water, publication. This is basically sending everything out saying, I'm working on it. I can get it later today. And it's basically in a nutshell saying that our drinking water is not okay. This is a bill, somebody's bill. Here's a parcel. FYI, parcel 1886 is 85% wetlands. Now that's actual business. That should be going on. That's with the lawyer and that's with the town clerk, keeper of the records. And the keeper of the records is saying that parcel is 85% wetlands. That's good. That's the kind of business that should be going on. Whoa. Public records request from Scott Chandler. Whoa. Is that the guy that sued? Mm-hmm. Chandler, that's the guy that sued. This is the dude that sued for public records before I sued for public records. The town of Otter Creek pays for no cell phones. Rosemary, town clerk. All right, that is the dude that definitely did sue. Now remember, part of my lawsuit is text messages. Russ The Suss was supposed to provide all text messages. Mary, text messages are scary. Supposed to provide all text messages. You've got Richard, who's supposed to provide all text messages. Now, what my lawyer got from their lawyer, which she talked to Russ The Suss, is that his phone was either missing and then destroyed or destroyed and then missing. I still don't comprehend how a phone can be destroyed and then missing, or it's missing, but you know it's destroyed. And we were told the same thing about Mary. Now, obviously, we could go after all of those messages still in the legal system. And we'll talk about that at a later date. So many people want to know, did you get the text messages yet? You got the emails. Do you have the text messages? And we are going to discuss that at a later date. It's just not the appropriate time yet. But it is coming. In case you thought that nobody picks up litter in Otter Creek and garbage and things along those lines. Oh, by the way, the biggest culprit of putting all that garbage and littering is the person you're thinking of. There's actually real Otter Creek residents who have picked up garbage. As a matter of fact, it was in the paper. Look at this here. Hi, Kathy. I just want to send a couple of after photos. These people were involved. Mayor Clea Martin, Randy and Connie Caldwell, Norma Adams, Winfried Kersey, Rose Severino. You do realize Don's not in there, right? Don was not helping at all. Must have been out on Lady Pirate. These people spent a couple of hours on April 21st in recognition of Earth Day, picking up litter on Southwest 6th Place in Otter Creek. We'd like to have a similar event each year to help clean up our town. Well, what happened to that event? I have spent over 3 years, coming up on 4 years, cleaning up 75 acres. 75 acres in Otter Creek. Dumpsters and daily trips to the dump. It goes on and on and on, the expense that I've placed into just cleaning up 75 acres. Let's not just make it one day. How about the people of Otter Creek take responsibility for the messes and let's clean it up every single day? Interesting. Guess how much they were charging for copies of public records back then, George?
$3 a page.
Oh, you're getting close.
No, $1 a page.
Oh, you're getting further away now. Let's see here. Brent, the actual lawyer, wanted copies of the maps of water lines and fire hydrants, and Clea Martin said they don't have them. They actually don't know where their water lines are, which is a major issue. And then Rosemary goes on to say, I have a copy of the map made out at the county courthouse. The fee is usually, what does that say right there, George? $10 per copy. Holy cow. Seems like I got a deal for all of this for $5,000 and I got it digital. So
yeah,
if I had to put this, over 6,000 emails, times 10, I would be, just in the emails, I would be at over 6,000. That's not every ordinance, resolution, everything. I got a deal at 5,000. Let's admit it. Okay, I got a deal. No doubt I got a deal. Check this out. Let's see. There's somebody wants a meeting. Rosemary, is there any time next week, Tuesday through Friday, we could meet to discuss Old Timers Day celebration? Tony. And she says, yeah, how about Wednesday, 10, 10:30, 11? Let me know what you would prefer. And then, let's see, Rosemary, Lyndon Lindsay would prefer to be there at 10 a.m., June 1st. I think some of our members are still recovering from RR days. From RR days. Maybe it's a railroad. I don't know. But apparently there was a Old Timers Day. Do you know anything about this? I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't heard anything about this from Darlene or from Joyce or for Gail or
I'm not familiar with it.
Or any other of the long-term residents.
Never even heard of it.
But it says, I have a list of people who expressed interest in helping with future events. So we'd have more than enough help. I mean, What happened? I mean, really, what happened? And the answer is Russ The Suss happened. Canceled Christmas and apparently Old Timers Day too. But I mean, come on, he could have been not Father Christmas. He could have been Father Old Timer for Old Timers Days. Or Don the Con. I can't hear you. You know, somebody could have got up there. Russ The Suss, get off my garbage. Not the lawn. You can't see his lawn. His garbage. Back in my day, we had all kinds of events where all of us old-timers would get together and complain. Keeper of the records. That's the official legal title of a town clerk. And the lawyer wants to know, hello, Rose, can you give me a timeline with the following information? Number 1, date Miss Martin's second meter was removed. Remember, they were being charged even though the meter was already gone, okay? And date when Miss Martin stopped paying for the second meter. Date, hey, listen, I can't blame her for stopping payment. I mean, they kept charging, and if it was Mary, you would have had the Levy County Sheriff called too. Okay, number 3, date when we installed the second meter. Date when the grocery store started their account. Date when we actually reinstituted the charge for the 2 meters on the property. And what is Rosemary's response? I'm working on your request. It's going to take some time to get that information to you. How in the world does it take any real length of time when it's all in a computer program, literally at your fingertips? The only way it takes a tremendous amount of time, or any extent of time over just a couple minutes, is number 1, you are inept to do your job. You do not have the skills that are required to pay the bills. You see what I'm saying? She doesn't know how to actually get this information in the computer program. And you're going, no, Jeremy, come on. She's got an MP4 player. I get it. She's got an MP4 player. But the water information isn't on there. Now, Belinda today could just be a boop, 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 boop. She'd have it in under 30 seconds.
Yeah, but Belinda's not multitasking, running multiple business out of town hall.
That's true. Belinda's actually doing the job that the town is paying her for, and she's doing it the legal right way, which we so appreciate. I can't stress that enough, how much we appreciate somebody like Belinda doing it right, the way that it should be. Okay, so the other issue is, number 1, you're inept. You don't know how to, you don't have the skills for the actual job. Number 2, you lost all the information, and we've seen that enough already. This keeper of the records can't even keep the records. And so the information is lost in all of this filth. Now, if you've seen their property and then you've seen town hall office, when Mary town halls are scary, then you understand Rosemary being a hoarder and a junk garbage collector, just handed it right off to Mary, who's a hoarder and a garbage junk collector. So you had 2 filth collectors just piling more filth and more filth and more filth. Creates a huge issue when your only real legal responsibility is records. You literally have to be able to keep records, to be able to organize, to be able to file, to be able to get the record. And here she's saying, well, it's going to take me some time. This is literally getting into a program and going, this is the date that they paid, this is the date they stopped paying, this is the date when we hooked it up. It's all in the water program. Less than 30 seconds for a normal person. But we all know here in Otter Creek, they's odd, and I don't say that word very often. Her answer? Check this out. Number 1, I don't know when meter 2 was removed. It was 1990 ? All right? We're not even in the 2000s. And check out this next response. Miss Martin stopped paying for meter number 2 July of 2007. And you think they were stealing from me? Over 7 years, like 8 years, they're stealing from her. 8 freaking years! Oh my goodness, we should file a class action suit. This is crazy. She and I should get together. We'll go after the town. They'll have nothing after that. We'll have a monopoly on all the water meters. We'll be like Scrooge McDuck, diving through all the water meters, and it's water meters, so we should probably swim in it. Number 3, meter number 2 was installed in August of 2010. Otter Creek Store opened their account June of 2010. We resumed charging for meter number 2 January of 2011. Why am I still surprised that they were stealing from somebody for 8 years? Why does this shock me? I keep saying I've seen it all. Nothing's going to shock me anymore. And yet, every single day, whether it's a deposition with LIEnette, whether it's going through 6,000 emails, whether it's showing up for town hall and Don the Con doesn't show up, I'm still shocked. Literally every single day.